Hello, Pisces. My name is Victoria Martin. I'm going to take you through your 2016. You're one of our visionary people here, even more than usual. So January 2016, this is for everyone. I'm going to first characterize what the month is like, and then I'm going to go into what does it mean for you. So for everyone, we're all going to get omens if we're paying attention and signs about who or what has real power. And we're also going to see more developments on the ongoing revolution since 2011, and we're all going to have some type of upgrade jitters that's just going to keep changing and upgrading. So my advice is be cool, manage your brand and duties. Mercury's retrograde January 5th through 25th, so you do need to keep extra care with your communications and transportations endeavors, which is every day. Anyway, January 3rd to 11th is a new moon phase. It's also Sun and Moon are conjunct to Pluto. So, you know some powerful people. Some of your benefactors, patrons, and friends are, they have trade secrets, they have wealth, they're in a process of constant transformation. They may have OCD, so that's why the Pisces, the sympathetic ear, you're so valuable. This is the time to set the trends for the month, and maybe even for the year regarding your friends. Maybe have a party, or make for sure see as many of your friends as possible during that phase. Now, here's that issue of mixing friends and money is always tricky, so it has to be done with extreme prudence and caution. You have some interesting resources regarding the future and innovation. This might be a lot of electronic equipment or whatever. If you loan this to friends, then you want to be sure that they're going to be responsible, and that sort of thing. So, be aware of that interchange. February 2016 is kind of a sleeper of a month. It wakes up at the end. Pay attention to subtle clues. Avoid toxins. Okay, so the full moon is going to highlight your 7th house of partnerships, and teamwork is very important. There's a lot of extra drama. At this point, you're either about to have your birthday, or you will have it soon, later in March, and so it's a mystical but potentially confusing time. The full moon, the February 20th through 24th, then Sun conjunct Neptune, is, you're really aware of the complexity of your role in other people's lives, and you're well suited to that. But at the same time, you make sure you get plenty of sleep, and keep toxins out of your system. Now, if you're pre-birthday, that's going to be especially important to get extra sleep. After your birthday, most Pisces are born in March, so most likely you will be in the pre-birthday, so boost your immune system. So in March, there's a whole bunch of eclipses, so we see a global opinion shifting regarding religion, patronage, healing, all these basic issues. So be ready, keep the faith, use science and worst-case analysis, right? So here, this solar eclipse is in your first house, so your identity is shifting. Maybe you want to pay attention to your body, and maybe you can remake your whole appearance or your image. Kind of cool, a new brand for yourself. This new moon phase is extremely formative. Solar eclipses are more challenging for men than women, but then we're going to have a lunar eclipse that's more challenging for women. So the lunar eclipse here is you might have some deals and some collaborations that are, a challenge to standards, and there might be extreme emotions, so you might have to handle these very carefully, be very aware of things, or how things are happening. Okay, April 2016 is a wild, futuristic month, charismatic. Missions are helped by a study of science and more special interest group networking. So this new moon emphasizes materials, tools, resources, your aesthetics, and you have a very novelty approach to this. New moons set the trend for the month, and in a way you're setting up trends for your security and your support this first week of March. So that's one thing, but also your friends get involved, so there's that friends and money mix again, and your friends may have trade secrets, and they could be powerful or wealthy. They maybe can be supportive of you in some way, or you can, but it's like they are very control-oriented right now, many of your friends. So, it's kind of like very careful maneuvering and strategizing is what I would recommend. So in May, some heroic missions are going to emerge, and people can pull resources for great success. There is a Mercury retrograde April 28th through May 22nd, so extra care in communications and transportation. Now, the full moon in May will bring great fortification and awareness to your career, your life's purpose. You can triumph over obstacles. This is exciting. A lot of people in your career arena are in show-off mode. They're performing. Conflicts get hyped up. Any kind of angst that you're feeling or other people, it needs some kind of management. So get plenty of exercise, plan ahead, and just breathe deep, right? All right, in June, a rewarding but challenging month, but tricky, so use strategy, not emotion, adaptive modes, revise. You'll see why in a second, because this is a new moon in your 4th house, so you're socked with some family stuff, property and management, but you can also build a stronger basis for happiness. So meanwhile, Saturn in your 10th house, you're setting the trends for the next 30 years of your life in terms of your career. So that's a pretty big deal. So those two things, work kind of well together, but you also have, a whole new social life coming through here. And that's been going on since September 2015. And then you, of course, are this magical person, and you have this glamorous identity, or you have this mystical personality, very, very interesting. So all this, who you are, who your partners are, what your home is, your career, these are all begging for attention on this first week of June. Whew, wow. So that'll continue throughout June. July is time to regroup, take stock, see who's on your team. Here's some great team building on July 2nd through 9th, essentially the whole first week of July. And in this case, you're developing your talent. You see some great developments with your children. If you have children, it's kind of a lucky time. It could be a knack for probability. But then you've got your friends. They're an important part of the mix, and they are powerful and maybe kind of secretive, and they count on you to be a good listener. Okay, so that's going to be important first week of July. Now in August, the first 3 quarters is fun, so play that up. You really want to enjoy the summer. However, the back to school time, which would be the 3rd week, there are a lot of lessons, so build strength, be ready. Okay, so what's going on this 3rd week is you're taking on extra responsibility or extra work regarding your career, and that could be great, but it could be kind of heavy-handed or overloading, so you've got to know what you can handle. And especially since you are sensitive, and fortunately or unfortunately, it's your half birthday. So that kind of, depending on who you are, can be the bottom of the year, or can be a time when you really get a lot of help from other people, but you may have to ask. So you don't want to be a saint. You want to say, you need help with the career things you have going on, and most likely you have partners who are willing to help you. Okay, September, we're in another eclipse season. Assignments are on a rocky road, but positive outcomes are likely. Changes in the wind. Okay, Mercury's retrograde again, August 30th through September 22nd, so extra care in communications. Now, this solar eclipse in your 7th house, this could bring in some really good new partnerships or new developments in partnerships, revitalize your social life, which has been in a process of revitalizing anyway, since, for about a year. So this is kind of putting the finishing touches on things, and you can act as a diplomat, you can be a trendsetter, and just great. Now, I also want to mention that for the past 9 months, that is since November 2015, you have been focused on some career developments and, realizing just how much can you handle. So it's a great time for saints and stoics. Other people are feeling uncomfortable. This is an enormous character building phase in November 2015 through this September, where you've had to make some sacrifices and maybe desensitize yourself a little bit, certainly eliminating toxins and just really not being tricked by things, hopefully, and just being very real about your future career. Okay, so this full moon also is a lunar eclipse, and this is going to spotlight you and might put you in a kind of a position of being relatively famous, which you may or may not like. And since it's a lunar eclipse, if you're female, you might need extra protection. Men should be all right, but it's just the kind of thing where you can see your own strengths and your own shortcomings. Full moons in your 1st house are always really vivid. And in this case, since it's your half birthday, get help from other people. Okay, October is a whole other thing. It starts off with a bang, great into the future, sense of, hope and productivity, very fun socially. So get out, be generous, learn new skills. Okay, so Jupiter just now going into your 8th house could signal more business collaborations and very good things. So here you're setting the trends, starting off, could be a 12-year positive development, that is 12-year best opportunities in 12 years to do business and collaboration. So you're going to see this on the new moon, and then the full moon, you should see some results in terms of making money, and your sense of the future can really help you. November is mostly neutral with some surprises, good for catch-up. Okay, so Jupiter, again, in your 8th house, and now here's that friends and money mix again. But in this case, you might be in a better position, or I say business and friends, really, is what this is. You might be in a really good position to bring in some friends, and of course, only if they're reliable and you know they're going to come through. Then we have a new moon at the end of November, spotlighting your life's purpose, ambitions, and goals, which is great, and renewed strength in business and collaborations and contracts, and a highly amplified spirituality. These can all work together to pinpoint the right projects for you. So December is action-packed, and Mercury's retrograde again, December 19th through January 8th. It goes retrograde 4 times a year. So in this case, the full moon will emphasize your family. This is mid-December, so a great time for a party. And at the same time, you can have even maybe a party that brings in some of your career interests. I mean, a corporate event or a company party or something that is a way of saying thank you to the people who helped you in your career. And also, it seems like there's a great sense of appreciation for your special resources that you have, futuristic and maybe innovative kinds of products that you have. So this trend continues in 2017, where you have more business opportunities and just the right equipment to make it happen. So the last thing we're going to look at is the new moon in your 11th house at the end of December, and this is going to be a time when you can touch base with friends and see what's coming up for the next new year. And what's kind of neat is you're going to feel a little bit of extra confidence and courage and strength, and at the same time, you don't want to overstress yourself either. So very interesting year for you, Pisces, and wishing you well. Thank you very much for watching, and best to you always. My name is Victoria Martin.
Bu akşam seminerimizi canlı olarak mobil uygulamamız üzerinden yapıyoruz.